sports, home of the Olympic Games, Notre Dame football, the Premier League, the NASCAR playoffs, Sunday Night Football, and Super Bowl 56, only on NBC.
What a great one on Sunday Night Football. That's Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, one of the loudest venues in all of sports. And tonight, it hosts an AFC Championship rematch. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, unfamiliar territory, 2-2 in last place in the AFC West. Patrick doesn't look like he's really worried about it at the moment, does he? Josh Allen, Buffalo, they've won 3 in a row. Bills Mafia is starting to dream of a Super Bowl return. It's been 3 decades since. What a great way to cap off Sunday number 5 of this NFL season. Threatening skies at Arrowhead for the Bills and the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. As always, we begin with Football Night in America. Hi, everybody. Mike Tirico, Tony Dungy, Drew Brees. As we settle in, look, could we top last week with Brady and the return? Probably not, but this is a pretty darn good way to try with a rematch of the AFC Championship game. So, Drew, you know when you start to feel good about what your team is and what you do, and you look over and say, there's some other big kid on the block here we got to get through. Is this a time for the guard to change in the AFC where Buffalo can take over Kansas City's throne?
I see this like Bulls-Pistons early 90s, where the Chiefs have been a nemesis to the Buffalo Bills, beating them twice last year. But the Bills are improved. Their defense is playing lights out. And this is that opportunity for them to get over the hump. And will this be the night where they can beat the Chiefs?
And what I see with the Bills, they have to understand the gap is not that big.
Right.
They've played close games against the Chiefs. They just haven't done it when it counts. And I think Josh Allen is in the same place that Lamar Jackson was in week 2. Hey, you've got a great team. You're playing well, but you've got to beat the Chiefs. And he's just got to relax and play his game tonight.
Chiefs won both meetings last year. You went bad, boys. I'm going to start bad. Like bad football right at the start. So from the 1 o'clock Eastern games on, the first 14 touchdowns, there were 5 missed extra points after those touchdowns. Tony, it set the tone for the day.
It really did, Mike, and not just missed kicks. We're all watching the games, and I'm starting to get mad back there. The old coach in me is coming out. Can we just play fundamental football? Can we just snap the shotgun snap to the quarterback and not over his head? We saw penalties, blown coverages, block kicks. And how about this one? Houston, you're in charge of the game. You're way ahead. Now you're going to try to draw New England offside. They're too sound for that. Just get back there, punt the ball. Don't punt it into the back of your own team. This kind of stuff has to stop, Drew. This is October.
But there was some positive today. I think these guys are pretty good. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. FY, do not play man-to-man coverage against this team if you cannot get pressure on the quarterback. There are just too many weapons on the field, and when given time, Tom Brady is going to find them.
Yeah, Brady did something today that he's never done in his career. We'll tell you about that later on. He made a few good throws, but there were some other good throws that Maria Taylor and Chris Sims will share with us as we bring them in tonight. Hello, guys.
Hey, Mike, not just good throws, the great throws.
Right,
yeah, that's what Chris is always focused on, the best throws that he's seen when we're sitting back in screening rooms. So what stood out to you so far
Well,
today?
let's give some love to Big Ben in Pittsburgh, right? I mean, everybody's on his case right now, not playing great football. We understand that. But got off the schneid early. One-on-one downfield. Deontay Johnson beats his defender one-on-one. It led to a big win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then, this one's amazing. Not only the throw, but just how many times they go to the well. Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams. It's all game long, and of course was a big reason why they pulled off the win today in Cincinnati.
And how about the fact that it's the first time in Packers history they had a 300-yard passer, a 200-yard receiver, and a 100-yard rusher. And obviously we'll get you the highlights of that game because, as Coach noted, it all came down to kicking. But we have more coming your way, including all of the weather that we're seeing so far in Kansas City. Shout out to the fans that are just there weathering the storm. Meanwhile, take a look at the radar. I'm not Al Roker, but I do know that green is bad. So there's more storms it seems to be coming, which reminds us of last week when the guys were in Foxborough. And who was that holding Rodney Harrison's
that diva
umbrella?
Rodney Harrison again, huh?
Yeah, we're still not really sure. We have some questions that need answered. So my question for Jack Collinsworth is, how is Rodney going to be handling the umbrella situation today?
Yeah, he used to be tough, that guy.
Oh, he's holding it.
Oh, whoa!
Maria,
What is the big deal?
there's no way, there's no chance that I could risk Rodney holding his umbrella and his notes at the same time. So I made a little arrangement. I got the Wolf. Bring in the Wolf. Wolf, you're in. Grab the umbrella. Wolf, get the umbrella. Get the umbrella. So we got the umbrella, man. He's ready to hold it for him right here. There he is, perfectly placed as Rodney Harrison could do. Only Rodney Harrison could do. Rod, you played so many football games in this stadium right here. How How loud really is it?
You see how close I am to you? And the fans are standing right there. I played in a lot of stadiums. This is the loudest stadium I've ever played. And look at the commitment by the fans. They're out here. The weather is terrible. Come on, let's go.
Look at the commitment by the Wolf right there behind you.
Oh, yeah, good job, bro.
We start every week, Ron, looking for the best defense around the entire country. Who takes the crown? Who was the best D you saw?
Surprisingly, I'm going to say the Philadelphia Eagles. And last time I talked about their defense, they won the Super Bowl. But they were outstanding today. They had 3 interceptions. Darius Slay had 2 really athletic interceptions. But also, they had 3 sacks. Alex Singleton was outstanding. He was all over the field, making plays. I'm surprised the Philadelphia Eagles defense, they did a great job today.
That's a nice bounce-back win for Philly as well after getting beat by the Chiefs last weekend. Here in Kansas City, this town lives for those Kansas City Chiefs. Everywhere you go, you see red. Tonight, they'll see 2 of the best quarterbacks going up with Super Bowl contenders on Sunday Night Football.
My name is Josh Allen, and my cause is Oshai Children's Hospital. Last year, Bill's Mafia helped me raise over $1 million, and obviously kind of came from the Patricia Allen Fund, where people were donating kind of to help the memory of my late grandmother. I still can't believe how much money we raised, and to be a part of something that's going to help families and children in such a positive way. It's so awesome, and something that's near and dear to my heart. It'll tie me here for, really the rest of my life, and I'm super pumped and super excited about, the future going forward. Go Bills.
Well, there is such a great connection between the Bills Mafia and their franchise quarterback, Maria Taylor's one-on-one with Josh Allen coming up later in the show. You can find their full conversation over on NBCSports.com and on Peacock. On the field, though, Allen is leading one of the NFL's best offenses. So which of these playmakers, Rod, has taken this group over the top?
I would have to say Emmanuel Sanders, and I love the chemistry that he and Josh Allen have. And I love the fact that he can stretch the deep part of the field. He's not afraid to go across the middle and make the tough catches. And that run after the catch ability is sick. But he's a veteran player. He's experienced. He played in multiple Super Bowls. And Josh Allen, he trusts him.
How about their tight end as well, Dawson Knox? Dawson coming off his biggest game of the year, a couple of touchdowns that he had a week ago. Why is the reason to believe he may break out again tonight?
I don't believe Kansas City have the safeties or the linebackers to cover Knox. He's tall, he's sneaky athletic, and he's got good hands. He's got really soft hands in the red zone.
Great story Knox is, too. He's a former walk-on over at Ole Miss before becoming a 3rd-round draft pick a couple of years ago. He's off to the best start of his career. Mike Tirico, back over to you.
All right, Jack and Rodney, Buffalo has looked good against teams with not their #1 quarterbacks, not the best teams in the league. Well, let's flip this over to Kansas City for a second. We saw them with the win over Philadelphia. They've also beaten Cleveland. Their losses to the Ravens and to the Chargers. What have you noticed in the first 4 games that's 2-2 start for KC?
Well, for me, it's a kind of Super Bowl hangover. And I'll tell you, Mike, my first meeting in the NFL as a player, Chuck Noll is my coach, and he says, champions, that's what we're about. And you don't win championships making extraordinary plays. You do the ordinary things better than everyone else. And that's where Kansas City is struggling to me. They've got great players. They're doing fantastic things. But the ordinary plays, Drew, here you got a guy breaking wide open. This should be an easy completion.
Yeah, no need for the no-look throw. It didn't look like he was ready for it, and it results in a turnover.
Yeah, just make the ordinary throw. Then on defense, someone goes in motion, you communicate. You can't turn a guy loose just on a simple motion. This has nothing to do with talent or ability. And then when you're on the special teams, on field goal block, what did everybody say? Watch the ball. There's no excuse for being offside. These are the things that are killing Kansas City right now. They've got to get them fixed.
Yeah, and a level of patience on offense. They're used to be able to make all these explosive plays, and they've been defended a little bit differently, in my opinion, this year. They're being forced to just take what's in front of them, and that's when the turnovers have come. That's when some of the impatient, bad decisions have come. So if they can just be patient and show that they can march the ball effectively, then I think they'll be more consistent.
Yeah, since the Super Bowl, everybody sends a couple of safeties back and say, work it down the field on us.
Exactly.
Good news for the Chiefs. They have a chance in their division. A couple of the teams at the top have lost. Denver lost. We welcome those of you who watched the Raiders lose. The Bears beat them 20-9. You're in time for highlights. When we come back, we'll have the highlights, some of the early games, some big stuff that happened in these early games, including Philadelphia with defense and special teams and a great comeback in Carolina, and one of the wilder games of the year in Cincinnati. It was a game with all the misses and then a make at the end for a veteran. Left them smiling in Green Bay. Fans at Arrowhead, they are ready to brave the elements. If the rain does become a factor through the night, it's the Bills and the Chiefs, an AFC Championship game rematch on Sunday Night Football. Let's get to Sunday 5. Highlights, Tony, starting with Detroit, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook out for the second time in 3 weeks with an ankle injury. They're up 7. His replacement, Alexander Mattison, has it ripped away here by Jalen Reeves-Maybin.
Yeah, we talked about bad situational football. Under 2 minutes, no timeouts left for the other team. You have to hang on to the ball.
The Lions take over in the red zone. DeAndre Swift pounds it in into a 1-point game, and Dan Campbell trying to get win once. Go for 2.
I love the decision.
And it's Jared Goff. They were down a couple of receivers. Kadero Hodge back into the receiver depth chart with the catch. Detroit's up 1, but there's time for Kirk Cousins and Adam Thielen. Big 19-yard gain here.
Here, you got to defend the field, Detroit. Don't give up that deep end route.
And Greg Joseph, who was short from 49 yards earlier in the quarter, here from 54. The Lions, their second loss in 3 weeks on a field goal of 50 yards or more. Minnesota wins, and Dan Campbell's team still close, but no cigar.
When you see your players give all that they have and you lose that way, it's tough. You know, you don't want that for them. So, but we'll be better for it, you know. And there again, credit Minnesota, but, you know, we made the one mistake that cost us.
See the emotion from the Lions head coach to the Jaguars and the Titans, and the Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer in the news all week after the video from the bar in Ohio went viral. They're taking on Tennessee. Down 8, Trevor Lawrence to Jacob Hollister. 1-point game now.
And this is what you like to see from Trevor Lawrence. Quick decisions, accurate throws. He's getting better and better.
He had 273 yards in that touchdown pass, but all Titans. Derrick Henry, 29 rushes, 130 yards.
I don't think anybody wanted to get in his way there, let alone tackle him.
Leading NFL rusher. Here's Urban Meyer's post-game comments.
How emotionally draining was this week for you, considering what happened, and did you see any of that impact any of the players at all today?
I didn't. You could ask them. I apologized earlier in the week, and players had a really excellent week of practice and put ourselves really in position to win a game at one point.
So Jacksonville remains winless, and we bring in Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk and Urban Meyer, and what's going on with that Jacksonville head coach remains the conversation around not just Northeast Florida, but the rest of the league as well.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. In this situation that emerged last week, far from over, and people within the organization are keeping an eye on 2 questions. First, was Meyer truthful with owner Shad Khan last Monday when he returned and was asked pointed questions about what happened in Ohio? And then secondly, what will happen next? It's been one misstep after another as Meyer makes the transition from college football to the NFL. People keeping a close eye on that. Game in London next week, bye week after that. Everyone should continue to watch this situation very closely, Mike.
They'll play Miami over in London. Tony, your reaction as you saw everything happen with the Jaguars and specifically Meyer this week?
Yeah, Mike, I took over a team in Tampa that had 13 straight losing seasons. Just like Urban Meyer stepped into a tough situation, the first thing you have to do is change the culture. And you don't change the culture by not flying home with your team. 28 years in the National Football League, I never heard of that. You've got to be there for your team all the time, Drew.
Yeah, and you need to foster that foundation too of feeling like you're doing everything you can to put your team in the best position to win. But at the end of the day, the most successful teams are the ones that are player-led, and these guys, you can see them wanting to start to come together. Now, they're missing a few pieces, but I think they need to be encouraged. And I know they're winless, but I think they need to be encouraged with watching their quarterback continues to develop, watching some of the playmakers begin to surface. And even though it hasn't resulted in wins yet, this is a team that I still think is going to have success as this season goes along.
I think a lot of people are going to watch how the foundation of that organization is impacted over the next week or two. What happens with the player-led leadership in the locker room? Will they continue to be asked questions about what happened with Meyer last week and beyond? Two other highlights. Speaking of the game over in London, we've already had one. Maria?
Yeah, you're right, Mike. One of the things that we missed from the pandemic, fans in the stands and our games in London. So for the first time since 2019, we've got the Falcons, we've got the Jets, we've got Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and we've got a ball game for the NFL. Let's start with the Falcons looking to score. Ryan to Pitts, the touchdown is good.
Well, that was a familiar combination all day. It was Ryan to Pitts, and then it was Cordell Patterson as the other guy on this offensive attack by the Atlanta Falcons. But this is a tight end. Who throws post down the middle to the tight end in a big situation? He's unreal.
Fantasy owners that started Pitts again are very excited. He had 9 receptions for 119 yards, 1 touchdown. You talked about Patterson, the 7-yard score. Worked for him as well.
Yeah, good win for them over in London.
All right, so the Falcons go on to get the win. They are now 2-3, best start since 2017. New England taking on the Texans. How about some rookie QBs going at it?
Yeah, Davis Mills came out on fire, played really well actually the whole day, and this is like a trick from the New England Patriots playbook right there.
Yeah, flea picker, that will work. But then here come the Patriots. Mac Jones has something to say.
He does. That was his best throw of the day, certainly. He started off hot, but he was not as smooth as what we had seen or at least to this point this year. And then this play right here, Maria, I don't know, questionable call. I'm kind of sick of these. Illegal touching the quarterback, and you automatically get a first down, but that is the rule.
It was a roughing the passer, and so it's the first down Patriots. Then Nick Folk comes on for the 21-yard try. It's good the Patriots get the 25-22 win. They had to gut this out. Remember, 4 of their 5 stars on the offensive line were out. So what did you see from the Pats offense?
Well, yeah, that's certainly something to overcome. But the big thing in New England is just who can make a play on both sides of the ball. Every drive has to be 3 and 4 and 5 yards at a time, and it's just hard living that way. And I think that's something we got to keep on our eye on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball, to just take a little pressure off them always having to execute over and over and over.
All right, well, the Patriots are second in the division. First is obviously the Buffalo Bills, and there's Josh Allen, their QB. I have a conversation with him coming up, and he's one of the league's best duos that he leads with Stephon Diggs, and apparently Diggs calls him his little big brother.
He is bigger than him, and he's younger.
You and Stephon Diggs have this amazing relationship.
Love you.
How would you describe that relationship?
We have just kind of the same attitude, same mentality, same humor. I've never played with anybody that works as hard as he does, and it's infectious.
Would it be weird if I told you I tried to learn the handshake?
Oh, did you? Ready?
Yep.
How many of us have them? Friends.
That was good.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
Sunday Night Football. Everybody watching.
One of the loudest stadiums in the league always finds a new decibel for the bright lights. It's Sunday Night Football. There's the tailgate out in the parking lot. In Kansas City, they may need the boost. They have been the second worst defense to start this year. So is it talent? Rod, what is stopping them from becoming great defensively?
Well, it's definitely not talent. They have plenty of talent on the defensive side of the ball. I think the key is they have to change their mindset. They got to stop, sitting back and waiting for their offense to score 30 or 40 points, and they got to start playing with some passion and start playing like they love football.
And Chris Jones as well. This is a big one. He is out tonight with a wrist injury. Didn't practice all week. We had an eye on it. He is now out. Leads the team in pressures by a substantial margin. So how will Kansas City generate a pass rush without him?
Well, defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo, he's the king at dialing up great blitzes. But also, you look at a guy like Frank Clark. They paid him $100 million for games like this. I expect him to have a big night.
Those are the big money guys right there. The Chiefs, they have made the AFC Championship game 3 years in a row, and they've never had a top 15 defense to do it. It's nice to have Mahomes. Back over to you, Mike.
It sure is, Jack. Thanks. Let's get to the highlights one more time here. Tony, Philadelphia taking on Carolina. What was this? Up 13-3.
Football we're talking about. Just get the snap, please.
Carolina was up 13-3 and 15-3. Lucky that wasn't a touchdown against Philadelphia. Gave him a chance to come back and turned around special teams. T.J. Edwards, a big punt block.
Well-designed block. Punter's got to recognize that. Get the ball out quick against the all-out rush.
So the Eagles down 5, trying to take the lead. It's Hurts keeping it himself for the first lead of the game. They went for 2 and made it, so Philadelphia up 3. Hurts ran it in a couple of times today. Sam Darnold, 5 picks last 2 weeks.
Yeah, just been a little bit off in these big situations the last 2 weeks. Interception here really closed it out for Philadelphia,
who snap a 3-game losing streak. Let's go to Washington to watch the Washington football team take on New Orleans. End of the half, Jameis Winston, all even at 13 to the half. Right now, Marquez Callaway.
Where is the safety man who's back there on the goal line jumping up to knock this down? What kind of defense was that, Washington?
There's an art to throwing those Hail Marys, Coach.
Don't tell me about art. That was bad defense.
Callaway caught 2. Alvin Kamara ran 1 and took 1 in on this 19-yarder.
That's art.
Hey, get the ball into that guy's hands as much as possible.
4 touchdown passes for Jameis Winston in the win. So that number looks good. The number of points look good. But I rolled over to your desk as we were watching the games on our screen here and said, you know what? New Orleans just doesn't look right. They don't look like they're in a flow like they were week 1. So what are you seeing with the Saints, even though they won this game today by 11?
It was a little sloppy. I don't see just the rhythm, tempo, passing game that just complements the run game. You get some of these splash plays, and then you get some of these well-timed, well-designed third down plays, quick snap before Washington's ready. The middle of the field safety is low. He's not in the deep middle where he should be. And then here, just a great play design by Sean Payton. 3 receiver side. Watch how these 2 receivers basically set a wall, picking that nickel as Marquez Callaway runs this rail route, and you either throw it over the top, you throw it back shoulder, but just good play design, good job on third down. But besides that, just the first and second down, moving the ball, possessing the ball, just haven't really seen that rhythm here over the last few weeks.
They have an off week to find it. Go to Seattle, Russell Wilson hurt, of course, and then Tampa Bay takes on New Orleans following that. Well, to our game tonight, and Buffalo wideout Stephon Diggs, the league's leading receiver last season, but was kept out of the end zone at Arrowhead in that AFC Championship game we talked about earlier. I spoke with the Bills owner, Kim Pegula, this week. She reminded me of this scene after the AFC Championship game. Diggs stayed on the field, the only Buffalo Bill to remain out there to watch the Chiefs celebrate. Diggs did say it offered more motivation, more fuel to the fire to get back there and get a different result. One of those things would be helped by getting home field. How do you do that? You beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead tonight on Sunday Night Football.
Securing the win. Presented by Simply Safe.
AFC Championship, man. Everything we fought for is right here.
It is 9-0. Buffalo on top.
Get in here. Be us.
3 touchdowns in as many drives. The Chiefs are running away with it. Back-to-back AFC champions. The trophy stays here.
Football Night in America is brought to you by Applebee's. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood. And by Best Buy.
When I became a member of the Lowe's home team, I wanted to work on a project that meant a lot to me and that would make a real difference here in KC. In 2015, I created 87 and Running, my foundation, to provide opportunities for underserved kids. When I signed my extension with the Chiefs, I bought this old muffler shop to expand Operation Breakthrough and to build an ignition lab. Lowe's is going to help us bring it home and add some finishing touches. This has been the ultimate passion project for me, and I'm excited to see it all come together.
Travis Kelce doing great things in the community. Part of the Lowe's home team with me. Look for him to do some big things tonight. He is that weapon inside that nobody can cover. He made a ton of plays in the AFC Championship form game last year against Buffalo. Look for him to do the same tonight.
All right, here we go. It's points bet pulse time, and it's the highest over-under the year, as you would expect. Of course, it's Mahomes versus Josh Allen. Lots of explosive plays to be had out here tonight on Sunday Night Football. All right, Drew, let's check it out. Let's break down some Chiefs film, right? They've been sloppy. Mahomes has been leaving the pocket a little early, making some poor decisions. Last week, they got back on track in Philadelphia.
They did, and this is what they are known for. Right here, you got pressure from the slot with this nickel. You've got Mahomes is going to drift this direction after the play action. This is a critical point in the fourth quarter where they need to make a play. Philly's trying to get back in this. What does that do? Tyreek Hill has the opportunity to run up on this safety and run this deep post, but all the way across the other side of the field. Mahomes knows he's got to buy time in order to get it there. So what does he do? Drift away from the rush, kind of flick this thing about 65 out here with Tyreek Hill.
No big deal.
Just the chemistry with those guys, knowing where and when that ball needs to be thrown. Not many teams are doing this. In fact, nobody's doing this the way the Chiefs do.
No, definitely. Coach said it. Last week they weren't bored. They continued to execute all game long, and they were a different offense, Mike.
Hey, thank you, Chris. You can download the PointsBet app and get daily promotions you won't find anywhere else. What you'll find right now, the Buccaneers in action, Tony. Tampa, after the return last week, taking on Miami. Brady, very comfortable with Antonio Brown, 62 yards here.
We saw them struggle to score last week without Rob Gronkowski. I think Antonio Brown kind of took that role over being that red zone threat.
Not done. AB 7 for 124 and 2 scores.
There he is again in that role Rob usually has, catching those crossing routes in the end zone.
All right, so no Gronk, so you can go a little more AB. You can also go Mike Evans, 22 yards here. Brady, in his 351st game, regular and postseason, had 400-plus passing yards and 5 touchdowns for the first time ever in his career. They're 4-1. Big Ben trying to get back going. They beat Buffalo week 1. It's been a struggle since. He's got a sore hip. This helped. Deontay Johnson, 50 yards, first drive of the game.
Well, what's wrong with the offense? What's wrong with the offense? The big play came back today in the passing game.
Ben at 253, 2 touchdowns. They were a little beat up at the receiver spot, but do get a big one as they dominated the game on the ground, and Chase Claypool finishes off a drive.
Yeah, and these passes are a result of the running game being effective. 147 yards rushing today really got that offense going.
Such a good point. Weren't sure about Teddy Bridgewater's health during the week with a concussion. He did start. He played well in the 4th quarter to Cortland Sutton, 39-yard score. He beat James Pierre, the corner who was in for Cameron Sutton. Now it's a 24-19 game. Then, Tony, it's 27-19 late. And trying to get the game-winning touchdown, game-tying touchdown, Bridgewater's picked.
And Teddy didn't make too many bad throws, but this was one that was behind. Just couldn't make that play at the end of the game to tie it up.
So Pittsburgh gets the victory. We'll see them next Sunday night against Seattle. Let's go back to the team we saw last Sunday night as we simplify the game. Powered by Microsoft Surface. Back to the Bucs and back to Drew and Chris.
Well, the Bucs offense was rolling today, as you guys know. I mean, Brady was on fire. They got weapons everywhere. We haven't seen anybody slow them down really than last week other than the New England Patriots. So let's break it down a little bit, Drew, and what we saw today here.
Yeah, note to everyone, be careful playing man-to-man when Brady has time back there. Here he is, Giovanni Bernard on a linebacker. Hey, we love that matchup every time. He had a free rusher in his face, still gets the ball.
Man-to-man, right? And then it's, oh, hey, it's the third option, Drew. It's not Mike Evans or Godwin. It's the third option, Antonio Brown, which is unbelievable that we're saying that.
Yeah, when he draws the third corner, look out. And then, oh, yeah, by the way, we can still throw go routes to Mike Evans pretty much whenever we want. You see this happen a couple times a game. It's a lethal combination, not only with Godwin and Mike Evans, but you see that whole litany of weapons. If you try to play man-to-man against him and Brady has time,
yeah,
no chance.
Yeah, this just in, Mike. Don't play Tampa man-to-man, okay?
Buffalo, we'll see them week 14 down in Tampa. Josh Allen not thinking about his battle with Brady later on the year. He's thinking about Mahomes, the other quarterback who started in the Super Bowl last year. It's Buffalo, Kansas City, AFC rematch on Sunday Night Football.
Simplify the game, powered by Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider of the NFL.
Get the party started. Nothing short of perfect today. Swell it up and down he goes.
Gasoline in my veins, beat a fuel through my pain.
Makes the catch, burning the defender. Touchdown.
As we rise from the flames. Heart of a lion, never.
All the tricks coming out of the bag.
Under pressure, oh, it's time to fire.
He fired a laser.
Oh, it's time to fire.
This is Football Night in America, served by Applebee's.
There is Arrowhead from above, and Sean McDermott makes the trip here as head coach of the Bills. He made his name as a secondary coach and defensive coordinator, but for the last 5 years, he has been leading Buffalo to the top of the AFC. So, Rod, where does coach have the talent to get this defense playing at the top of the league defensively?
The secondary, in particular the safeties, these are the best dual safeties in the National Football League. They don't get enough credit or respect. Their job tonight is protect the deep part of the field.
In Sunday Night 7, every single week we do it, it is Tyreek Hill, the cheetah, receptions and receiving touchdowns. Where does he go?
Jack, this is tough because it's been raining. Now it's perfectly clear, but I'm going to go with 6 receptions and 1 touchdown. I like this Bills secondary. I love the safeties. 1 touchdown.
And Rod, I'm going to tell you right now, you can hear this crowd coming to life. You can make your picks along with us on the NBC Sports Predictor app. Maria, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Jack. Let's go to the fourth quarter of the Browns taking on the Chargers, because that's when it all came to life, all right, Chris? Justin Herbert going deep to Mike Williams for a 42-yard touchdown.
Wow, kind of open. I think you might have been able to hit that throw, but Justin Herbert, he is phenomenal throwing that ball down the field.
Okay, next Browns drive. We got Baker Mayfield looking for David Njoku, bouncing off a tackle, 71 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, this game was amazing in the fourth quarter. Back and forth, no defense being played. Njoku can really run for a big tight end.
Longest career reception. Browns were up 7 after that. Ensuing Chargers drive, Austin Eckler, 4-yard rushing touchdown, ties the game at 35. Next Browns possession, Kareem Hunt. Let's see what he's got.
Yes, the two-headed monster. I mean, Chubb and Hunt were phenomenal in the football game. This Rams run game may be as good as anybody. Browns run game as good as any.
It's hard to keep up, I know. Next Chargers drive, Herbert to Eckler, a 19-yard touchdown. That pulls the Chargers to within 1.
Yes, I mean, again, I don't know what else to say other than those offensive explosions. Yeah. This is one of the negatives of the fourth quarter.
Coach, close your eyes. Yes, the extra point attempt was no good. Chargers still down 1. They get the ball back, less than 2 minutes to go. Eckler.
Really smart job there going down. But watch this, Maria. This is crazy. Cleveland makes sure Eckler scores. They want the ball back. They don't want the time to run out.
That's right.
They get the touchdown, but Cleveland doesn't get to deliver in the end.
12 total touchdowns in this game. 6 were in the fourth quarter. We showed you every single one. All right, let's go to the Bears taking on Vegas. John Gruden and the Raiders hosting. But remember, all the attention has been on Gruden. We'll get back to that later. We go to Justin Fields, the rookie, getting his first career touchdown.
Yeah, he looked good today. I mean, high percentage passes, run the ball, and play through your defense, Chicago, and you're going to have a chance to win every week.
All right, last chance for the Raiders. Derek Carr's pass is up, but it is incomplete. The Bears go on to win at 20-9. The Raiders have now lost 2 straight after starting the season 3-0. But we go back to their head coach, John Gruden. He has been in the news this week after he apologized for sending several offensive emails in 2011, including one that used a racial trope about the executive director of the NFLPA, DeMaurice Smith. Gruden addressed the situation after the game.
You know, I'm not going to answer all these questions today. I think I've addressed it already. I can't remember a lot of the things that transpired 10 or 12 years ago, but I stand here in front of everybody apologizing. I know I'm not, I don't have an ounce of racism in me. I'm a guy that takes pride in leading people together, and I'll continue to do that for the rest of my life. And again, I apologize to D. Smith and anybody out there that I have offended.
All right, so that's Gruden addressing the situation. Let's bring back in Mike Florio. What is the latest that you're hearing out of Vegas?
Well, Maria, there's a weekly meeting every Monday morning in the league office, and this definitely will be a topic when they gather tomorrow. Some in the league office believe that John Gruden won't be suspended by the league, even though a very strong statement was issued on Friday by the NFL. This happened at a time when he was employed by no NFL teams. The Raiders could possibly take action, but again, this is something that occurred 2011, years before he returned to the Raiders as a head coach. So remains to be seen how this will play out. For now, though, there's a thought there won't be a suspension.
Thanks, Mike. Tony, let's get your reaction to this.
Yeah, we heard John Gruden say he addressed this. He gave his side of it. He said that it wasn't racial. He was making a comment about DeMaurice Smith, and he basically attacked his character. I will accept that and just say, you know what? It was an immature way to do it. It wasn't the right way to do it, but it was 10 years ago. And I'm not going to chalk everything up to racism. I think we accept his apology, move forward, and move on just like he did with his team.
Yeah, I think in being honest with the audience, I should weigh in a little bit here because I was with John at that time. 7 years as my partner on Monday Night Football. I probably know John better than anybody in the league on a personal level. He said it right. He was ashamed by the comments in the email. The comments in the email are wrong. But my experience kind of parallels Tim Brown, who played for John, Hall of Fame wide receiver. He said he never experienced or saw anything that would say John was racist in any way. That is exactly the experience I had those 7 years of traveling 3 days together on the road every week. So the story will continue to play out. The league may weigh in, the team may weigh in, but it's just a perspective on the story that got a lot of headlines this week. As we continue here, we get you ready for the rematch of the AFC Championship game at Arrowhead. The Chiefs and the Bills on Sunday Night Football.
Welcome to the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff.
little bit of rain, but a big matchup from Arrowhead for Sunday Night Football. 3-1 Buffalo Bills and the two-time defending AFC champs, Kansas City. Let's take you on the field, presented by Hyundai. Drew, get to watch Patrick Mahomes one more time here tonight.
Patrick Mahomes is going to spread the ball around tonight. He's going to need to make some plays with his legs. The pressure packages that Buffalo can bring defensively are going to force him to move and get off of his spot. He's going to have to find a way to extend plays and get the ball to his playmakers.
On the defensive side, he doesn't have Chris Jones, who's inactive. Maybe that's a little bit of help for the quarterback for the Bills, Josh Allen.
And Josh Allen, you're going to see some special plays from him, too. This guy can run, he can escape, he can throw with accuracy and velocity, and he is bringing energy to the Buffalo Bills offense.
Maria Taylor shuffled off to Buffalo to visit with Josh, whose journey to become one of the best in the business started in a small town in California.
Okay, so Buffalo's the second home. So I don't think everyone has a starting quarterback that once worked on a family farm, and so you actually had farm chores. What was your favorite and least favorite chore if you had to choose?
Favorite was we got this tractor one time. You literally pushed a button and it would keep the straight line. But irrigation pipe, 110-degree weather, it's extremely hot piping, and you have to wear long sleeves because if you touch it with your skin, it's going to burn you. And you're just picking it up, loading it on, picking it up, loading it on. So you're sweating there, it's hot, like it's brutal.
Okay, so preseason camp is nothing for you then.
Exactly.
Pick up an irrigation pipe.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
I hear that you love movies, so if you had to come up with your storyline, your Hollywood movie, it would be called what?
Oh, my Hollywood movie?
Yeah.
I've never thought of that. That's a good question.
You know?
I know who would play me.
Who would play you?
Chris Pratt.
Oh my God, that's who I said.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. I've gotten told we kind of look alike, but like Parks and Rec days.
Okay, I'm gonna show you my notes.
Okay.
I literally in parentheses put Chris Pratt.
Really?
Because you're Captain America and you wear the same colors and...
No, that's Chris Evans.
Oh.
Chris Pratt.
But I heard that you love movies.
I do.
So what are the ones that obviously stand out to you?
Like I can go down the entire list. I have so many different movies that I just absolutely love that I continue just to watch over and over. I don't know what it is about them, but I have like this weird, some people have photographic memory, I have almost like a videographic memory where I can like watch movies in my head.
Does it translate to the field at all?
I think
videographic memory?
Yeah, I think so.
What does that look like?
Well, like if we see a clip on film and I can cue back and see the stars little pressed here on this side. And I saw that same clip. And I saw him run out, and they brought two from here. So it's just like, let's get the protection set, trust the rules, and if he comes, I'll throw it hot. If not, I made the right decision, and we can try to execute the play.
It's crazy how being a movie buff can translate to the field. Come on now.
Right?
Yeah. As soon as I got in the car, my driver said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to interview Josh Allen." He was like, "You have to ask him about Elvis Presley."
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what he listens to before the game. So you got to walk me through that now.
I got seven songs I have to listen right before I come out. Can't Help Falling in Love with You. It's She's Not You. The Stranger. It's That's Life. It's Put Your Head on My Shoulder. Fly Me to the Moon.
Okay.
And then it's Sammy Davis Jr., The Joker. So those are my 7.
Bills Mafia. Please go and download the Josh Allen pregame playlist. This is how we got to start every single game now.
What it does, it keeps my heart rate down. It keeps me kind of calm. I play better when I'm loose and relaxed and kind of easy going.
There's always a joker.
Great visit, Maria. You talk about all-time old soul. Wow.
Where does he get that from? Frank Sinatra?
Oh, that sounds like your playlist from your playing day,
My
baby.
dad's playlist.
Your dad's playlist.
But he said to calm him down, get the heart rate down. I get it.
Well, we're not calm when we watch him make the plays, right? So, you guys will bring Chris Sims in for a little bit of back and forth. Anything you can do, I can do better with these two quarterbacks.
Yeah, escapability they both have. Patrick Mahomes, nobody's blitzing him this year because he's too dangerous, but he gets away from the 4-man rush and then throw the ball 65 yards off balance to those great weapons. But Josh Allen has that same escapability. You try to get one man free on defense. Here, Houston's got 2 guys free. It doesn't matter. Roll to the right, 40 yards downfield to Stephon Diggs. Unbelievable.
All right, let's get into some arm strength, okay? I mean, Patrick Mahomes, have we seen anybody ever throw the ball off of more weird platforms, awkward position? Oh, no big deal. Feet off the ground, 40-yard post, touchdown. Josh Allen, not a lot different. He can make people miss. He can reset his body and throw with just about as much power as I've seen anybody throw with in just such a short period of time.
And extended plays, this is the norm in the Chiefs offense. Nobody's open, we'll just scramble, but watch the awareness of all his receivers. They know the minute he's on the perimeter, find a hole in the zone, you're going to get the ball and have the opportunity for run after the catch.
Yes, I am. No, you're not. All right, he can do that.
And then here, Josh Allen, just great recognition down here. You've got your tight end Knox against a linebacker in press coverage on the goal line for a back shoulder fade. Chemistry, time on task with his guys. You can tell they're taking it to another level as an offense.
You don't think they'll be watching each other, trying to match each other tonight, do you?
I kind of think they will. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored, too.
We've seen a couple of games like it. You know who can do all that stuff? Aaron Rodgers. But he wasn't the focus of Green Bay and Cincinnati. Joe Burrow involved in a crazy ending. 22-14. We're going to go late fourth. Joe Mixon in for the touchdown to make it a 2-point game.
Yes. Got him going, give him a chance, and now the 2-point play, where's that going to go?
T. Higgins. Burrow knocked out of this game early, kept it alive there. We're tied at 22, and then it went completely sideways. 2:16 left. One of the more established kickers in the league, Mason Crosby, after 27 makes in a row, misses from 36. That's just the beginning. 26 seconds left. The rookie Evan McPherson, 57-yarder for the win. And it,
off the post.
Off that upright, so it's a short field for Aaron Rodgers. A completion, and it's Crosby from 51 for the win. He missed to the left again. We're going to go to overtime. All these missed field goals, 22 all. Here's the start of overtime. Let's get nice and simple. Burrow to the air, but a problem. Intercepted by Devondre Campbell, and the Packers have it in field goal range, dare I say. So Crosby's going to get another chance from 40 yards. Going to make this game over. No, he missed to the left again. And the game goes on. So since he moves it down the field, and it's McPherson from 49 yards. Watch the ribbon on the right. We talk about flag football.
He thought he made it.
He did.
No, you missed. You missed.
Yeah, the flag doesn't count. Here, look at that. Nailed the flag. Could kick it 100 times. He'd never do that. So, guess what? The Packers get it back. And this is the big play to Randall Cobb.
And that is a great throw. Going backwards, putting it in to Cobb's breadbasket.
So, Crosby from 49. Finally, after those 5 missed field goals in under an 8-minute stretch, extraordinary finish. Green Bay wins 25-22. The Giants go to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. About a year after Dak was hurt against the Giants, he's looking so good. CeeDee Lamb from 49 here.
Playing with great confidence, and he has a chemistry with these receivers now.
10 touchdown passes last 3 games. I mentioned injuries. Injuries a problem for the Giants with Saquon Barkley coming back from the knee. Ankle injury here in the first quarter. Thing blew up like a balloon. Second quarter already without Shepard and Slayton. Galladay hurt in this game. Daniel Jones doesn't have his receivers. He doesn't have Saquon. Now they don't have him. Concussion as he gets hit and is out for the rest of the game. So the Giants are shorthanded, very shorthanded. Dallas takes control of the game. It's Dak, it's Zeke.
You just can't afford to make mistakes on defense when you're shorthanded. A blitz, no one was sure who was covering Elliott. Touchdown.
6 touchdowns his last 4 games. Mike Glennon took over for the Giants. Trayvon Diggs, another pick. 6 already.
People keep challenging him, and he has great ball skills, Mike.
3rd player since the merger, Tony, with an interception in each of his first 5 games. Dallas, after losing to the Bucs in the kickoff game, have won 4 in a row and go to New England next week. San Francisco against the last of the undefeated. Arizona. Trey Lance makes the first start of his career. Garoppolo out with the calf. First drive of the game, trying to find Travis Benjamin. Buda Baker's there.
Yeah, and Lance did some good things offensively, but inconsistent throwing the ball, missed some open receivers.
It led to Arizona's first touchdown, 7-0. Low-scoring game here. This was the oddity of the day. 4th and goal here. Lance trying to get to the edge, stuffed by Isaiah Simmons and Tanner Vallejo.
Time and time again, that Arizona defense stepped up, and that ball just didn't make it to the line.
So they remain scoreless. It's 10-0 at this point. Deebo Samuel involved.
Kyle Shanahan running out of backs, put Deebo Samuel back there at tailback. Great run.
All right, it's a 3-point game. Both defenses digging in. 4th quarter, Kyler Murray didn't hit many of the big plays. Was dealing with an arm injury. Good part of the game. DeAndre Hopkins, they hook up a couple of times.
And we've seen this before, right? Throw it up to Hopkins. He's going to go get it most of the time.
That one for 30, and this one for 9 for the touchdown. Arizona, the only unbeaten in the NFL. They're 5-0, drew for the first time since 1974 as they win 17-10.
Hopkins just gave him this 2 times in the fourth quarter just to finish it out. They weren't real sharp up until that point, but they did enough to get your job done in the end.
And sometimes when the offense isn't clicking, this is a team used to scoring points in bunches. Their defense stepped up, kept them in the game.
Arizona goes to Cleveland next week, one of the more intriguing matchups of Week 6. Maria.
All right, Mike, I don't know if you heard it, but our editors did a great job editing the Cincinnati and Green Bay highlight because they used Aaliyah try again as soon as the kicker started missing. But let's talk about what went well. The Sunday night game flow presented by Progressive. The receivers had career nights.
Like special combination. First off, the ways Rodgers can, in the Green Bay offense, can constantly get Davante Adams the football. It truly is amazing. It helps everything else out in their offense. And their connection, their ability to always find ways to get Adams the ball, as impressive as there is in the NFL.
Davante Adams, 206 receiving yards. That's a career high. But how about Jamar Chase with 159 of his own?
Well, I mean, hey, it took a lot of flack all preseason, right? He can catch. We know that. And if you leave him one-on-one, he is becoming a nightmare that way. You can't cover him one-on-one. His ability to accelerate off the line of scrimmage is as good as anybody in football.
All right, that was the Sunday night game flow presented by Progressive. Now let's check back in with Mike Florio for some injury updates.
Well, and one scary injury that happened in that Bengals game, quarterback Joe Burrow taken to a hospital for evaluation for a throat contusion. I'm told the team believes he was poked in the throat at some point. Before he was evaluated at the hospital, he expressed a belief that everything will be fine. We'll continue to monitor that. And in the Giants game, we saw Saquon Barkley's ankle. ESPN just reported seconds ago that he was in the locker room on crutches with a walking boot. No further details yet on the Barkley injury. And Daniel Jones officially is in the concussion protocol after the hit he took near the goal line. He'll have to be cleared by team and independent doctors before he can practice or play. Mike.
And the Giants have to face the Rams at home next Sunday. Mike, thank you. We get set for Josh Allen and the Bills going for a 4th straight. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs trying to dig out of that early hole, trying to get to 3-2. Rematch of the AFC Championship game coming up on Sunday Night Football. So hard to top last Sunday night and the return of Brady. This is pretty darn good. Chiefs and Bills rematch of the AFC Championship game at Arrowhead coming up momentarily. But first, we have the best of Week 5. Brought to you by Verizon. 5G. Built right, guys. Let's go around the country, starting in Houston. Tony, with a Pats rally from down 13. Mac Jones gets a victory.
Yes, not a lot of great offense, but a big throw when they needed it to win the game.
Houston 1-4, New England 2-3. Drew, no signs of slowing down for Tom Brady today.
You know they're going to want to push the ball down the field. Nobody throws a better deep ball right now than Tom Brady.
First career game, over 400 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. Wild ending of the day in Cincinnati. The rookie kicker, Evan McPherson for the Bengals. From 49, he hits the flag at the top that shows you the wind, and he thought it was for the win. It was not. Instead, Mason Crosby, who had 7 field goal attempts in this game, made the first 3, then missed the next 3, and made a 49-yarder to win it. Green Bay goes to Chicago to renew the oldest rivalry in the NFL. The Bears get there at 3-2 as well. After a tough start, Fields just won back-to-back games.
Yes, he hung in there, made a couple of key plays down the stretch for the Bears.
Vegas falls to 3-2. Washington at home, Drew, New Orleans bounces back.
Impressive fourth quarter for the Saints today after a slow start, but get it in Kamara's hands as much as you possibly can.
Chiefs fans, your team goes to Washington next Sunday. Philadelphia trailed by 5 late in Carolina, but Jalen Hurts' legs get it done.
Yes, there's extra dimension that he gives them, and he did a great job of hanging in there the whole game.
Tight turf for Philly. They host Tampa on Thursday night. The Giants are in Dallas. They lost Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Kenny Golladay, and couldn't stop Dak and Zeke.
Dallas exploded in the second half today. Tons of creativity, finding ways to get their playmakers the ball.
Cowboys have won 4 in a row. They're off to Foxborough. Next Sunday night, you'll see the Steelers and Seattle. Big Ben back at it.
Yes, Pittsburgh fans excited to see the deep ball back and 147 yards rushing today.
That's right. Big game on the ground. Wild one, Drew, in Los Angeles. Back and forth. 6 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
They couldn't stop anybody. Do you score? Do you not score? I mean, that looks like the Pro Bowl.
That's exactly right. That's the first ever defense pushing you in for the touchdown. And Tony, in Arizona, Trey Lance got the start. Niners couldn't hand the Cardinals their first loss.
No, not a lot of offense for Arizona, but they knew who to go to when they needed DeAndre Hopkins.
Arizona, the last of the unbeatens. That's the best of Week 5, brought to you by Verizon. Best matchup of Week 5 is coming up. The Sunday night game, Buffalo and Kansas City. Buffalo, once in the regular season, the AFC Championship game played Kansas City and couldn't beat them last year. What do they have to do tonight to change that, Drew?
Well, defensively, they do a great job of keeping in front of them and then dialing up pressures at the right time, which is typically on third down. But when you do get a free rusher, you have to find a way to keep Mahomes in the pocket and get him down. Don't allow him to buy time and make the play. These are 2 consecutive plays from the AFC Championship game. The first one on third down that gave him a new set of downs, and then the 50-yard play to Tyreek Hill that otherwise would have been a 10-yard loss. So it's when you do have the opportunity to get Mahomes down, you have to, because if he can extend the play, it's going to be a long day.
You know, and Drew, my buddy Leslie Frazier is the defensive coordinator at Buffalo, and he said when those plays happen, when we're rushing 4 guys and they miss Mahomes, I've got to be careful and not panic, because the tendency is, okay, we got to blitz. Blitzing is suicide against these guys. Look for Buffalo to play this 4-man rush and count on those defensive linemen to get Mahomes down.
You guys are giving us some reason to pick Buffalo in this one. Let's see who we're all going to pick. It's time now for the home team picks, brought to you by Lowe's. Jack Collinsworth, start you off on a rainy night at Arrowhead.
Well, Mike, 61% of the country believes in Buffalo, and why not? The Bills feel more than capable of coming into Arrowhead and knocking off the Chiefs, especially in this sloppy weather. It's a wet grass field right now.
Who you picking?
I got to make them prove it. I'm on Kansas City. I'm going to put a little pressure on Drew Brees in there. Who do you like?
Man, all week Buffalo's been talking about this is not a big game, this is just another game, but this is the same team that's kept you from reaching your goals and dreams of getting to the Super Bowl. And I saw Stephon Diggs out here. He looked like he was almost in tears. I'm picking Buffalo. I think they're going to run with it.
Mike Florio, who you going with?
You know, I employed some high-level calculations and analytics for this one. When you can't make up your mind, go with the home team. I'll take the Chiefs. Chris, Maria.
I like it, Mike. All right, I spent way too much time in Buffalo, so I'm going to go with the Bills on this one.
Okay, that's a loyal friend of you. All right, Buffalo's defense is a lot better, but I think the Chiefs will be patient. They got a great offensive line. I'm going Chiefs, 31-30.
All right, I'll go Buffalo. Tony, what do you think?
Well, I think the Buffalo Bills have a better defense, and Chris Jones, the great player for the Chiefs, he's out. I've got to go Buffalo. I think they're going to outscore him.
I think it's time. I think Buffalo's ready, and they have built their team to beat the Chiefs.
Was the analogy you made at the start of the show?
Bulls, Pistons.
Yeah.
Bulls, Pistons. It is time. If you want to go where you want to go, you got to find a way to beat this team, and I think they're ready to beat them.
It's going to come down to red zone and takeaways.
Those are tonight's home team picks, brought to you by Lowe's. Sounds like we had a great one, doesn't it? Sunday Night Football with a rematch of the AFC Championship game and 2 of the best in the league. Teams, quarterbacks, receivers, big play guys. Should be fun. Al, Chris, and Michelle settling in at Arrowhead. Carrie Underwood, as always, kicks us off. Thanks for hanging with us on Football Night in America. Enjoy the game. We'll see you at halftime.
This has been the Hyundai Sunday Night Kickoff. Spanish language audio provided by Telemundo Deportes, or watch tonight's game in Spanish on Universo.